Yo, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to the Black American Male. Alright, so if you're new to my channel and you haven't really heard my content, won't you take time out now to like and subscribe, and most definitely share this with another band. And if you do like the content and you don't want to miss anything, make sure you hit the bell notification, after you subscribe, so every time I upload a channel you won't miss it. Alright, so in our wisdom series, we are in number 24, and we've been coming out of the NLT, the New Living Translation. And if you want to follow along, it will be from the book of Proverbs. So you're picking a proverb a day, maybe one or two, and expounding on it. This means explaining it, and most definitely seeing how we can apply this to our lives. And we got another good one here. So once again, if you want to follow along, out of the book of Proverbs, and I will be reading from the NLT. All right, so in chapter 24, all right, chapter 24. So we got a good one here, and the verse that I picked, all right, is, let's see. I said, don't rejoice when your enemies fall, or don't be happy when they stumble, for the Lord will be displeased with you and will turn his anger away from them. Okay, so that is verse 17 and verse 18. And I didn't have it highlighted, so I had to read it and look back at it. All right, so verse 17 and verse 18 and Proverbs chapter 24, I'll read it again. It says, don't rejoice when your enemies fall, and don't be happy when they stumble, for the Lord will be displeased with you and will turn his anger away from them. All right, so the majority of us kind of, will downplay this simply because you do not want to hear about not being happy when your enemies stumble. But one thing that sets, a child of God apart from, anyone else is this right here. It means who can only, return good for good. Just anybody, all right? Anybody. But when somebody does something bad or something evil towards you, and you don't, choose to strike back, all right? But let's say they deserve whatever is coming to them, and you get this glee in your heart, and you're so happy that they are finally experiencing some of that stuff they dished out to you. Well, in the good book here, it says that, God will be displeased with you, and he possibly, right, will turn his anger away from them. So you will be doing yourself a disservice. It's not saying that you are not saying, well, you know what, they made their bed, they got to lay in it. This seems to be different because it says when you rejoice. We know when you rejoice about something, you are happy. I mean, you jumping up, you singing praises and stuff, and you most definitely aren't, just like, I would say, nonchalant about it. Because if something happens to someone that deserves it, no one, even if you don't know God, should be, rejoicing because they actually experience some pain. It should be like, well, they put out a lot of stuff that they're going to get back. Now, this would seems to put in perspective that you are more than just nonchalant about it. You are rejoicing. You are happy. Like, man, they got what they deserve. You know what I mean? I don't feel sorry for them. Like, you're not asking to feel sorry. This specifically says, don't rejoice when your enemies fall. Don't be happy when they stumble. All right, for the Lord will be displeased with you and will turn his anger away from them. Wouldn't that make you even more mad? It's like, oh man, whatever they had going on, it's been shortened because you were so happy that they was catching it. So happy that they was catching it. A good rule of thumb to really understand and go by is, good and bad happens to all of us. But we all have control over how much good we put out. And guess what? It's the good put on good ground. And I made a video about this, and it's not in our wisdom series about sowing and reaping. if you put a lot of good out there, I can almost willing to bet you'll get way more of that back than you would bad, you know. And you be like, well, why would I get any bad? We live in a fallen world, all right? And a lot of these things happen. It is not a direct, relationship of saying that God did this to you. No, you live in a world where people, don't much care about themselves. So if they don't much care about themselves, they will do a lot of things to you. You know what I'm saying? And not blink an eye about it. So they will sow a lot of bad seeds and not think about it until they turn and start reaping that. All right? So if you aren't getting what you want, how about start putting some good stuff in? Well, this right here seemed to see that law of sowing and reaping was coming back on your enemy. And you were so happy about it that God decided to say, you know what? That's not an attitude I want from somebody who is one of mine, all right? You shouldn't be this happy about somebody else's misfortune. So he would turn his anger away from them because of your glee, your excitement of their pain. It's not a godly attitude, and this is in the good word. All of us do not want somebody who had done us wrong to be part in the past. And I'm telling you, as bad as it is to think about, it's like, man, I should not. Who wants their enemy to succeed? All right? But I have something that I wanted to say, but I'm going to save it to another, probably one of the wisdom series. It might be in one of them. And if I recall right, it may be. But I just give you a snippet of what it is. Who can do good, all right, to people who do good to them? You say everybody, right? But who can do good to people who do not do good to them? All right? So what good is it? What good is it if you only do good to people that won't do good to you? You just like everyone else, all right? It's easy to do good to people who do good to you, right? That don't take much of anything besides being a human, all right? I'm going to show courtesy to this person because they did it. But when they don't do it, you will be showing some great maturity and most definitely godliness if you can, exchange what they giving you bad and you giving them good. Okay? But that's all I have for you today. I came from the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and I read verses 17 and 18. All right? So that's all I have for you today. Most definitely, if you like it, most definitely subscribe, share the content, and let me know what you guys think. And most definitely, hit that bell notification if you